Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner. I'm very pleased to be joined by I've been very pleased to be joined by my old pal, Peter Hogan. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Good to see you.
Great to see you too, as always. You look very well. And as we talked about last time you were on, you're going through a very interesting and rewarding period of time at the moment, mate, because of the success both in the comics industry and the TV industry of Resident Alien, which I know you were very pleased with. How is all of that going for you, mate?
It's going good. I mean, it's a slightly odd period in that. Well, we've got Book 8's coming out at the moment in comic form. That'll be a trade paperback in January, and then Book 9 will be next year sometime. And after Book 9, there's a 28-page finale, and then we're done.
Wow, amazing. So the end is in sight if
The end is in sight.
comics
Yeah.
mythos.
And but as for the TV thing, they're starting to shoot series 4 in December, um, and it's all great guns going.
Yeah.
I mean the weird thing is that series 3 was the finale. I thought was phenomenally good.
Yeah.
And that's not just because I'm in it. I just thought it was really nicely
that
done.
was certainly the reason why I liked it so much.
Yeah. And so anyway, and then it took kind of an age before they got the green light for 4, but we knew it was going to happen. It was just a question of TV, Hollywood, all of that.
Yeah, of course.
As big a nightmare as everybody ever says it is.
So
But
Peter, before we get into the latest series, which
yeah,
you just identified is out now and is
yeah.
available for order from the links attached to our conversation, and indeed the collected edition is available for pre-order from the links attached to our conversation. Before we talk about that, what was your experience with regard to your appearance in series 3? How did it come about, and how did it actually happen?
And well, I think Chris Sheridan suggested it. He sort of said, I mean, quite a long time ago, years ago, and he just sort of said, we're sitting in a bar, and he said, "Would you be willing to do kind of a walk-on thing?" And I went, "Yeah, of course I would." Um, and and then these things grind exceedingly slow, and there was Resident Alien has kind of been plagued right from the start, both by COVID and then writers' strikes and actors' strikes, and all kinds of things. So it's all been very stop-start. But then finally it happened, and I was a little surprised that it did actually happen. But then the next thing I know, I'm flying out to Vancouver and sitting next to Linda Hamilton. So.
Wow,
And it was
amazing.
great. It was a really lovely experience, I felt. I mean, I've always liked Chris Sheridan. He's a really nice guy, and everybody else I've met associated with the TV thing is great. Um, and I fell totally in love with Vancouver. It's just a fantastic place.
Beautiful place,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So right this minute, I've got my fingers crossed that they'll let me do it again for the next series.
I
But
hope so, mate. That would be
yeah,
amazing.
no, it would be lovely, but we'll have to wait and see.
So, what was it like, though, being sat there in that world of your joint creation with your own characters, around you and the ether around you? How does that feel?
Well, the whole thing is bizarre. I mean, it's been bizarre um, ever since the TV thing got underway. You get because there are people pretending to be characters that I've made up, and that is just a bizarre thing. Um, there's I created the town name of Patience. I created the whole shebang. So, or me and Steve jointly. So it's all very odd to see it come to life, albeit in a very different kind of way. But it's nice.
Oh, it must be lovely. It must be lovely, and it must be such a gratifying thing, given all the work that you guys put into the book and the long gestation of the TV show.
But that all worked out for the best, really, because it took so long to get the TV show off the ground. It meant that they kept green lighting, book after book after book, to the point being that it kind of turned from what it was at the start into something a lot deeper. I hesitate to say profound, but I mean it's certainly, it's kind of a massive body of work now. I mean, what they are going to do at some point a book that collects the whole thing, and it's going to be,
Yeah.
3 inches thick or something, and that is really odd, but I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to you about it in the early days of the book, and I remember your ambitions for what it could become and how it could be adapted, all of which has come true. But that the comic series itself, as you said, has succeeded beyond your wildest dreams in terms of as a piece of work,
Yeah,
having what will be 9+ volumes of it. That
yeah.
that I bet you wouldn't have believed it if that had been part of the conversation 10,
Well,
15 years ago.
our original kind of go ahead was to do, I think it was 24 pages,
Yeah, yeah, right on.
and so there never was a kind of great arching plan for it. It would just kind of, as it went on, you'd reach a point where you think, yeah, we better add a bit of this and some more cast members, and instead of doing, a murder, maybe we can do something else, and the whole thing just grew very organically, which I think was, to its favor.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly we couldn't have done it as a monthly comic ever, because Steve's very slow and I'm not fast myself.
Painstaking, I think, is the
Yeah,
word you're
yeah.
looking for.
But it grew into something that I think is kind of special and kind of unique. There's not many things like it. You know, I was talking about concrete the other night with somebody, and I thought, yeah, there's a concrete is similar in some ways, but even that's a very different kind of thing. So
But wonderful to be in a category of your own, Peter.
yes, that would be nice. Well, yeah.
As you already are as a human being. So
Maybe
why not have
yeah.
why not have your work slot into that also?
Well, I kind of wonder if the Eisner Committee will ever notice me, but maybe that's the thing I'll win for being in a category of my own.
I am now going to make it my mission for the Eisner Award and Eisner judges to notice you. That'll be the next thing. That I
Well, you
can
have my
feel the next
blessing to
stage
do
of my
so.
life's work coming.
There you go.
So tell me about the current series, Peter.
The current series, the one that's coming out at the moment, is called the Book of Life. And I think at this point, I'm not really sort of giving any spoilers by saying that the kind of main event of the story is that Harry and Asta have a child. And so they're going through, all the stuff that any parent goes through, really, which is with the added complication of, they don't really know what they're going to get or what the baby's going to look like. Is it going to look alien or. And other than that, it's kind of, the usual kind of sort of small town, background, and them dealing with that. And also, I think that it's the fact that their daughter's existence kind of changes everything in a cosmic sense. There's now a hybrid child, and so Harry's people are going to get involved, and he's actually kind of requested help, and that's kind of what the next book will be about. So,
Which then dovetails into your finale.
yeah, the finale is kind of a standalone thing, but it's my editor rang me up. He said, I'm in 10 pages into this. He said, I can't believe it. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because I'm not doing what a lot of people, including me, would have expected me to do. So,
Very good. Well, I can't wait to hear about that in more detail
yeah.
when we get to that point. And I am so pleased for the continuing success on many levels of Resident Alien. And again, it's so lovely. I was recapping on some stuff before we spoke, and it's so lovely just to go through my own volumes and go, man, looking at where it is now, I just think it's a wonderful place to be. And of course, this isn't the only exciting thing about Peter Hogan in the comic space. You've got a whole new project to talk about.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Which which is called Black Forests, and it's an anthology of short stories with uh, well, basically the first issue is 6 short stories with 6 different artists, all written by me.
Wonderful.
And I deliberately didn't use the word horror because I think, that has a lot of different kind of associations in people's minds. Some people think it means gore, some people think it means, this, that, and the other. So what we're calling it sort of stories of suspense and the supernatural.
Which I
And
prefer personally, to be
yeah,
honest. I'm
yeah,
not a great fan of the horror tag myself, but
no, no,
suspense and I mean, Get Out, for example. Is it a horror movie? It isn't, but it's a lot of things, but it's not a horror
yeah,
movie.
no, no. So so anyway, that's all done. The artwork's trickling in at the moment. I finished writing a long time ago, and we launched it as a Kickstarter, and now it's in previews, and it will hopefully be going into comic shops in November, I guess.
Wonderful. So currently available for pre-order,
Yeah.
which everyone watching this conversation will find in the links attached. And what can you tell me about your collaborators?
Right. I've actually got a list here because I always forget one, and it's
Very
never
good.
the same one. So anyway, we've got uh, Steve Parkhouse,
Of course.
and Glenn Fabry,
Brilliant.
um, David Hitchcock, Mark Stafford. This is in no particular order. Raffo Labosco and
Nice.
Jimmy Broxton.
Oh, wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
what a treat working with what a great collection of creators to be
Yes.
collaborating with.
Yeah. And hopefully it'll be a success and we'll do another one.
Yeah. Who's on the cover, Peter?
That's well, Ryan Hughes has done
Our mutual friend,
our mutual friend
my
has
former
done.
housemate, your brother-in-law.
That's right.
Both of those things are true.
I asked him to do me a logo, and he ended up doing a logo that was kind of almost a cover in itself. So that'll be one of the covers. Ali Fell has done a variant cover. I think David Hitchcock's done a cover as well. So there'll probably be at least 3 covers.
Yeah.
Um, but the one that Ali's done is really, kind of amazing. But
Peter, let's backtrack a bit. Where did the germ of this come from? How did this
the
come to
journal it
pass?
came was well, Shane Chevsey, who I've known for years.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's effectively the editor come publisher on this.
Yeah.
And he approached me to write a short horror story for an anthology that he was doing, which I did. And the anthology ended up, for various reasons, didn't come out. But the story turned out well. It was kind of it's in the final thing that we're doing, and it's kind of a dark fairy tale. And I always kind of had a problem with horror in terms of me doing it because I suppose because I don't find most of it scary. I find a lot of it ridiculous. I never had, I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in vampires. So it kind of gets to the point where you think, I've got to think a way around this if I'm going to do anything there. And it occurred to me that a lot of the what you might call horror films of recent years that I've enjoyed, if that's the right word, um, have been ones where they're kind of making up their own rules. They're not going by the old cliches. They're just doing a new thing. So things like It Follows, which I thought was really good, and Midsummer, which was
Yeah.
beautiful but terrifying. Um, they're doing that. They're kind of starting from scratch, which kind of wrong foots the audience for a kickoff. So I've been doing a bit of that, and one of the things that I learned was that it's very easy to do kind of macabre stories. If you're doing a kind of Tales from the Crypt kind of scenario where there's a cackle at the end, that stuff comes very easily. And and even sort of horror comedy, that comes quite easily. But doing something that genuinely unsettles people or scares them or just makes them a bit nervous is a lot harder. But I think I managed to do a couple of those, and a couple of the macabre ones, and the other two are probably somewhere in the middle. But
You
it's
know,
been an
mate,
interesting experience. So
I'm sure it's been fascinating. I mean, I would love to talk to you about this in more detail, but one of the problems is, in order to have that conversation, it really needs to be on the other side of reading the book, because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you want to blow the stories apart. But I'd love to read them and then
Okay.
back into this conversation
Well, we
once
can
they've
do
been out
that.
there for a while. We'll do it because I think it would be great to follow this up with perhaps a post-mortem conversation
Sure.
6 months, a year after publication, maybe after the collection comes out, or maybe when you get I know it's a collection within itself, maybe we get a chance to do another one to deconstruct some of those stories, because I think that would be a fascinating conversation to have.
Yes,
But you
but
need to be able to talk about the detail.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, the thing was that I basically started having ideas beyond that sort of initial story, and eventually I sort of said to Shane, look, why don't we do, take the best half dozen of these things and do a compilation. So that's what happened.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. I'm really very pleased that your creative juices are flowing as magnificently as they are, and we've not got more Resident Alien to look forward to, which we have, but we've
Yeah,
also got this book, which I'm very excited about, and it will be out in November. Is that right, Peter?
I believe so. That's when they're sort of fulfilling the Kickstarter copies. So I would
Yeah.
imagine that the shops will be soon afterwards. Yeah.
And before we say cheerio, have you got anything else you're thinking of, or anything else you're working
No,
on at the
not
moment?
really. I mean, I'm working on proposals for a lot of new things. I've got sort of 4 or 5 that I'm kind of getting ready to throw at people, and hopefully one of them will find a home, and we'll carry on from there.
Brilliant.
Which is odd because I mean I've been doing Resident Alien for a long time now. It's about 14 years since we started.
Wow.
And I haven't really done anything major, other than that. So this is a bit odd, but hopefully people will listen to me, and we'll get something else off the ground.
I'm sure that everybody with good sense, discerning comic book fans will, mate. And whatever comes next after Resident Alien and after Black Forest, I very much look forward to it. And in the meantime, both Resident Alien and Black Forest can be ordered from the links attached to our conversation. And Peter, it's always wonderful to see you and your library. And I look forward to seeing you again
This
very
is a
soon.
small part of it.
I know that. A small snapshot of your library.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's great to see you, mate.
Good to see you.
Continued success to you, and I'll see you very soon.
You will.
Cheers, brother. If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.